Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're watching this video right now but have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please click on the subscribe button as we continue to bring you interesting trending videos and news. Don't forget to like and share your thoughts at the end of the video. With that said, let's get into today's video. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there's a trending video of a trucker convoy of patriots which is heading to the US border on the standoff between Texas and the federal government intensified. Now, the organizers of the Take Our Border Back convoy have called themselves God's Army and say they are on a mission to stand up against the globalists who they claim are conspiring to keep the US border open and destroy the country. Now, in case people have been wondering why trucks are headed for Texas southern border, this is the reason why. This is what is currently happening. Now, this is a must watch. Here are the clips for more context. I will be right back with more information or details to this video.
A convoy of people calling themselves God's Army is headed straight to the border to protest the record surge. The group is officially known as Take Our Border Back, and it's on its way to Baton Rouge, Louisiana right now, with plans to make stops in Texas from there, Arizona, and California, where rallies are set to be held this weekend.
The fentanyl, the trafficking of children coming across the border, and just the overall what it's doing to our country and our cities. God is behind us, and that's what it's about. That's why we're here, is because of stories. Just
need to stand up. Our voices need to be heard. You know, we need to bring people together. That's our right, as our First Amendment right, to peacefully assemble and redress our grievances, for our government.
And they should make it there tonight around 10 o'clock to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Something else I do want to point up, there were dozens, and then as the day progressed, more people started showing up. That's what's expected from organizers as they get closer to Texas, and then they get into Arizona as well. And that's something that Texas law enforcement is paying attention to, as well as Arizona law enforcement, as they make their way, Elizabeth, across the country, highlighting issues at the southern border.
So this story's been coming up all over my For You page. There's been rumors of a 700,000 truck convoy that's on its way to Texas, known as the God's Army, to stop migrants from coming into the U.S. And from what I can see, this is mostly false. But what is true is that there is a great division in the United States of America over the border right now. And we've got people using words like war, civil war, invasion, threatening to secede from the Union. Are we really labeling immigration as an invasion? Are we really calling migrants a foreign military? We're ready to pick and point them at each other over other human beings looking for a better life. And please miss me with the "there's a right way to do it" BS. Because we got a man with 91 felony indictments right now, who's already led one insurrection, who currently owes $83 million to a woman that he defamed and essayed, who doesn't even hold political office in the United States right now, but has a stranglehold on the Republican Party and is blocking any bipartisan support for border funding and resources. Because he doesn't want the border crisis solved, he needs something to campaign on. And what's even more appalling is seeing all the creators on this app say that we don't have the resources for people to come in this country. We need to take care of our own first. We literally have the world at our fingertips. I'm in Florida right now. I can connect with somebody in Australia, Egypt, Israel, Palestine. It doesn't matter. Anywhere across the globe, I can connect with them right now with the advent of social media and having this phone at my fingertips. We are a lot more connected than we think we are. And we collectively as human beings are not confined by some imaginary borders. And to say we don't have the resources is just asinine. The 62 richest people, the 62 wealthiest people have more wealth than half the world's population. There are enough resources in this world for everybody to live comfortably, for everybody to have a house, to have health care, and a nice, decent life. We really need to stop with the, I have to work so hard to pay for somebody else's laziness, or my taxes pay for their free ride. We're allowing billionaires to have us fighting amongst each other. Our entire system was built on being adversarial. Republican versus Democrat, black versus white, us versus them, cop versus criminal, prosecutor versus defense, correction officer versus inmate, McDonald's versus Burger King, Walmart versus Target, CVS versus Walgreens. The list goes on and on. We literally have people fighting in the healthcare world over Narcan and insulin. Both are life-saving drugs. But you have people who are diabetic who will get mad if they see an addict get free Narcan. And they do this all the time. How dare you give those migrants housing when we have veterans that are homeless? No, how dare us fight amongst each other when both of them could have housing? Can't we see the powers that be want marginalized groups turning on each other? They want poor people turning on each other. They want the division. I can promise you guys that we are a lot closer to these people. We have a lot more in common with these people than we ever will with these powerful elite billionaires who got us fighting amongst each other. Let's wake up, America. If they wanted to solve this crisis, they could.
We got us a convoy, and we're going to all them scenic spots in the South where the Confederacy rose big and was mighty and strong, like Virginia, like Florida, Texas, all the major things of the South and the Confederacy. It will rise again. The South will rise again when we go to the border and blockade it. Republicans have a convoy going. They're getting together. They're going from Virginia to Florida to Texas to guard the border and block the path.
Now, this group, calling itself God's Army, is leading a convoy of up to 40,000 trucks from Virginia to the southern border. The Take Our Border Back has started its journey toward border towns, and the group's goal, according to their website, is to peacefully assemble and call government leaders to address on the southern border. No one knows for sure how many people are arriving, but officials say they are preparing for a large number. Now, according to them, this is a biblical monumental moment that's been put together by God, one convoy organizer said on a recent planning call. We are besieged on all sides by dark forces of evil, said another. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. It is time for the remnant to rise. The remnant from the book of Revelation are the ones who remain faithful to Jesus Christ in the times of crisis. Now, experts say that the Christian nationalist overtones in this rhetoric adds a dangerous dimension to an already fraught situation. When people believe that they are working on behalf of God, they might be willing to resort to relatively extreme measures, said Ruth Bronstein, assistant professor of sociology at the University of Connecticut and author of Prophets and Patriots, Faith in Democracy Across the Political Divide. And so you have a politically volatile situation that could become much more so in part because of this rhetoric. Now, the organizers' current plan is for the convoy to depart Virginia Beach on Monday and snake down through the southeast, stopping over in Jacksonville, Florida, before making its way to several stops along the border. The convoy will then split up for separate rallies on February 3rd, one near Eagle Pass, Texas, a second in Yuma, Arizona, and a third in San Ysidro, California. Now, a group of 6 Patriot World influencers, including Kim Yita, who runs a self-empowerment self-help group and an anti-voter fraud group, started organizing the convoy around a month ago. God's Army is rising up, she said on the planning call. We all have been chosen for this time. The convoy was originally intended to send a message to the Biden administration: secure our borders. Its website calls on all active and retired law enforcement and military, veterans, mama bears, elected officials, business owners, ranchers, truckers, bikers, media, and law-abiding freedom-loving Americans to join the call. But recent events have significantly raised the stakes for the convoy. 2 weeks ago, the Texas National Guard seized control of Shelby Park in Eagle Pass, Texas, an epicenter of unauthorized border crossings, and erected razor wire around it, effectively limiting border patrols' access to the area. It was an act of aggression in a simmering dispute between Texas and the federal government over who has jurisdictional authority over the border. Now, days later, a migrant woman and 2 children drowned while attempting to cross the to Eagle Pass. The Biden administration claimed that the Texas National Guard prevented border patrol from serving them, which Texas has denied. Now, earlier this week, the Supreme Court ruled that the federal government, not Texas, had authority over the border, and the border control could cut down the razor wire. So Texas has since doubled down on erecting razor wire, and officials said that they plan to hold the line. Now, Texas Governor Greg Abbott wrote a letter accusing the federal government of breaking its compact between the United States and the states. At least 16 Republican governors say they support him as Biden faces calls from some Democrats to federalize the Texas National Guard, which would remove it from Abbott's command. Now, these latest developments have aroused civil war fantasies on fringe forums as well as on the social media media accounts of GOP lawmakers and right-wing political commentators. On Thursday, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt and Newsmax host mused about the possibility of a force-on-force conflict erupting between the federal government and the Texas National Guard. And this all means that the border convoy is garnering more interest than it might have done a couple of weeks ago. So the convoy's crowdfunder on GiveSendGo has raked in more than $30,000, totaling nearly $50,000 by Friday morning. Once willing to die defending this country, now willing to be unalived protecting my family from what this country has become, said one donor who identified himself as a Navy vet. But put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes, wrote another. Now, thousands of dollars rolled in on Wednesday when InfoWars' Alex Jones interviewed one of the organizers, Pete Chambers, a former military commander who says he was a Green Beret. Now, there's a war literally happening now for America, Jones said. We are at 1774 right now, said Chambers. He later drew a comparison within the biblical story of Gideon's army. In the book of Judges, the army's faith in God allowed them to prevail over their enemy despite being vastly outnumbered. Ads for the convoy have gone up on 40 digital billboards in Florida, Texas, Louisiana, and California, courtesy of private donor whose identity organizers would not disclose. In an interview with Vice News organizer Scotty Sachs, who is the host of Sovereign Radio, said the convoy has nothing to do with the ongoing fight between Texas and the feds, so we're not really focused on that, said Sachs. We are staying the course about making this peaceful assembly as large as we can make it, to make a statement to federal, state, local officials that we don't want open borders. But the temperature continues to rise around Texas border with Mexico. On Thursday evening, former president and current GOP frontrunner Donald Trump weighed in, calling on all willing states to deploy their guards to Texas to prevent the entry of illegals. We have come to the end of the video. What do you have to say? Kindly share your comments or your views on what you think about this issue. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.